But you don't know what you don't know. Someday.
We're back with a special friend of mine, Rhonda Orr. I tell you, if you got a hero, it should be Rhonda Orr because she's amazing. Rhonda, great to have you back with us.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Sandy.
Now, you are president and founder of Rhonda's Stop Bullying Foundation. This is for girls and an amazing, amazing thing. So there's a bully-related thing that now you're working on. That is teen suicide. Is teen suicide a problem?
Teen suicide is a huge problem. They've just recently started to connect suicide and bullying together. And a lot of parents of children that commit suicide, they don't want to have them labeled as having been bullied because it's still seen as a weakness. So they don't want their child to be seen as being weak.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I've not been in that situation, so that's an interesting thing. Of course, you want to protect your child, too. Now, there's a popular TV show. We have a clip from this, 13 Reasons Why. Now, just briefly tell us, and then we're going to roll the clip. Tell us about the show and why you think that it impacts teen suicide. How does it?
It impacts teens because this person who's on the show goes through all the people that bullied her and all the reasons related to the people that bullied her. But the main reason was slut-shaming. And that's one of the biggest problems and causes of suicide.
Wow, we're going to
teens.
talk more about that. Let's check that thing out, 13 Reasons Why, because if you're not a teen, you might not have been watching it.
Hey.
Hey. Hannah, I'm not going. Not now. Not ever.
Why didn't you say this to me when I was alive? My husband and I, we never got a note.
Hey, it's Hannah. Hannah Baker. Settle in, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to this tape, you're one of the reasons why.
This is a wild game of survival.
Interesting. All right. Now, Rhonda, you are also a columnist for the Daily Courier's column, and it's Dear Rhonda and Dr. Sherry, a column, and this is the question and answer. Now, recently you came out on the 13 reasons to stop bullying and start creating civility. What are those 13 reasons? What is causing teens to bully each other? I guess let's...
Well, one of the main reasons, and it was evident in the show, and by the way, I want to say I'm not an advocate of people watching this show per se, because there's a lot of violence and there's a lot of sex. So it's definitely rated R.
Wow.
I wish they would come out with a version that's, you know, not rated R, a little
teens.
mild for school students.
Sure.
But the important factor that comes out of it is the fact that things that parents don't realize are going on, such as popularity. Popularity is, among boys, is still because of their conquest, their sexual conquest. And you think that as a progressive society, people that are more sophisticated, we think we're not.
You still
Popularity.
have to be a teenager.
You still have to
go
be a
through those
teenager, and you
issues.
still want to be popular. And anyone that thinks that that's not important anymore in our culture has not been in touch with
So when you
teens.
say slut-shaming,
Slut-shaming,
if they
being
sleep
called
with the boy or whatever, then...
Well, there's a very good point, because she did not sleep with anyone.
But
and
they
that's
still
a
accused
misnomer.
her of it.
They accused her of it, and with today's social media, they took pictures that suggested that she had done that. So a very envious thing for girls to do today is to say they've been slut-shamed, or say that they are a slut or that they are a whore. These words are thrown out even in joking manners.
No, I have to tell you, I went to a movie, this has been 4 or 5 years ago, with my husband, and it was a small theater. Not many people were watching this movie, and there was a group of teens, and the conversations they were having were exactly that. Oh, you're such a slut and all this. And we just sat down going, oh my gosh, and these were friends. They weren't harassing each other. They were having friends calling each other these horrible names.
So boys are still becoming popular by their conquests. Girls are still be calling sluts They're still being called sluts. And the problem is, it doesn't matter. And oftentimes, they have nothing to do with being a slut. But even if a girl is sexually promiscuous, she has no opportunity to change. So one of the reasons that girls commit suicide is because they don't see an answer. They are accused of something that either they did or did not do, and there's nowhere to go.
Wow, it's
There's
like
no
the old days
answer.
when a girl would get pregnant, and same thing. It was just this huge shame. Well, there's one thing. I mean, there's 12 more. You got to look at the column, and we're going to talk about another way they can get this information too.
Yes,
But civility. You say civility is the solution
Civility
to this.
absolutely is the answer to ending what we have
The bullying
as bullying
and the teen
and
suicide.
and the suicide.
Okay.
And so the reason is because civility is simply courtesy, consideration, and caring. And those are things people have said, oh, be kind. Well, that's trite.
Right.
You know, I went into this because it's not trite.
Do kids understand what civility is?
No, they have no idea. In fact, I just did a teen maze, 800 kids that come through this maze, and I asked, what is civility? And their answer was to be civil. And I said, well,
Yeah, but
what does that mean? You know, then they would say, be kind. And it's much, much more than that. It is actually your being, the way of being. Our culture does not know anything beyond amusement. Just kidding. Our campaign of JK does not make it okay. Kids still say, they might not say the exact words, just kidding, but they are saying things like, oh, don't be sensitive, or I didn't mean it. But the phone texts show that just kidding, after saying something like
The cruelty is still
you're,
there.
You're ugly,
You bet.
you're a whore, you're all these things. Oh, I was just kidding.
Now you have, again, the column that comes out in the Daily Courier.
Yes, uh-huh.
You also have the website, which we have on the screen, about Stop Bullying. Also, the Rhonda Orr Show podcast once a week, and you will be dealing with these.
I
on
am
that.
so happy to have the opportunity because I can say everything that I want to say. I'm restrained a little bit in the column.
How do people find the podcast?
They find the podcast by therhondoorshow.com.
All right, get on there, check these out. Every child should be seeing this, folks. You know, a wonderful thing to help kids stop bullying and stop committing suicide. What a wonderful mission. Thank you for doing this, Rhonda Orr.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Sandy, for having me.
Don't go away. We're going to be right back with a friend of mine, and we're going to talk about the spookiest souvenir shop in America.